This year, the British Podcast Awards are heading to a brand new home, Indigo at the O2. Join more podcasters, creators and producers than ever before at the biggest night in British podcasting, taking place on Thursday, the 2nd of October, 2025. You can book your tickets via our website, britishpodcastawards.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital? Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for November 25th through 27th. Because of Thanksgiving, we did not have an episode on the 28th or 29th. And last week, we kind of forgot to tell people to have a happy Thanksgiving. Please know that every time there's a holiday, we say happy. And we hope that you have the best one ever. We've just been forgetting them lately.
Yeah. It's time is going so fast. Like, I know I say it all the time, but seriously, this year flew by.
See, I don't feel like it flew by until end of July.
I just feel like the whole year went crazy fast. I don't know how we got here already.
I don't know either. It's crazy. Ugh. So we did not have any Port Charles pipelines. Oops, wrong email. Let me just double check that I did not snooze any. Nope. So I did have, first of all, I'm so proud of us for not getting caught up on the way that I did with Dante, having to watch Dante while we did the 411. That was the first time that I really did that, though, where I was like, this is an amazing playlist. I'm going to finish it as we do this 411. And I wasn't watching when he came on. There was a whole bunch that I missed. So it's like I hadn't seen it yet. So now it's just like I'm enjoying when I get to go back and watch clips of Lucky. But when I was looking for stuff with the 411 we did last week, where they Liz put like the little dance together and they danced to NSYNC's God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You. I love Curly Q Curl, but she put in Brandy's Have You Ever, but did not mention that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a big deal. Like, this just goes to show
the budget.
Yep. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I thought that that was sweet.
Yes.
And I don't know if I'm imagining it, but I seriously feel like we're going to get it. I really, really, really do.
I hope so. I hope for your sake especially, but I hope so.
If they don't, I hope that they don't at least try and then have it not work.
No,
like just don't do it then.
Right.
I don't know. But we will talk more about them on Lucky and Liz Part 10 this upcoming Thursday. And I don't think there was really any news or anything else like Port Charles Pipeline-ish.
Okay.
We can get to Hulu headlines. On Monday, Ava's trial begins. Kristina takes the stand. Michael makes a move against Drew. Lulu takes a risk. Curtis opens up to Jordan. On Tuesday, Lucky is eager to help Elizabeth. Dante testifies at Ava's trial. Rick has a trick up his sleeve. Cody assists a stranger.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's
not really a stranger, kitty. And Sasha confides in Maxie. On Wednesday, Lucy confronts Cyrus. Lucky confronted Cyrus.
We didn't see Lucy at all today.
No. Rick, I'm just going to say that was a typo. I do think that they just had a typo. Rick calls Molly to the stand. Maxie and Spinelli are in for a shock. Brooklyn and Chase have a heart-to-heart, and Lulu sees a familiar face. No, she didn't.
Not till Wednesday.
She didn't see anybody. Lulu didn't see anybody.
Not till Wednesday. On Wednesday, she did.
Who did she see on Wednesday?
Rocco.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Her son? Maybe you've seen him once or twice.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm going through. She doesn't know Cody. She doesn't know James. Maxie didn't come in. And I'm going through. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I just watched it today, too. Yep. So we just want to start with Lulu then?
I guess so.
Please tell me more about Lulu because apparently I just forgot everything I watched today.
I did not understand that. That's what I can say. I did not understand. So we see her last week. We saw her laying in bed, and then she heard Cyrus was going to come back in. So she laid back down and she pretended to be asleep. And that was that. This week, she's pretending to be asleep. And then the nurses come, or she hears Cyrus talking about he's going to transfer her somewhere. And then two nurses, he comes in and talks to her. And then two nurses come in and say they just need him to leave for a minute because they have to do something, blah, 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 blah.
To go get coffee. That's what they did. They left to go get coffee because it's going to be a crazy night.
Yes. But when they came in to see her, they were just jamming pillows under her to like turn her on her side. I'm assuming to keep her from getting bed sores. But
I agree. I think so too.
When they left, Lulu then got up, and that's when she made her escape. Wouldn't you have thought that Cyrus was still just standing outside the door?
Oh, yeah, because they said it'll be just a moment.
Yeah.
And he kind of argued with them. Instead, he wound up going to work.
Right. Because they were like,
yeah.
Can you leave? Can you give us a minute? And he was like, can't you do this later? And they were like, no, we can't, but it'll only be a minute. So he left, and then they put the pillows under. And then 5 minutes later, because she heard them say they needed to go get coffee or whatever, she gets up and then starts her sneak out of looking around and seeing where they are, and then pulls the fire alarm, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I know that she doesn't know what month it is when she wakes up, but like she's leaving in the hospital gown. She happens to find a duffel bag in one of the drawers from the receptionist girl that just happens to have clothes and shoes the same size that she is.
Exactly. And she's a slight woman.
Exactly.
So it's not like the nurse was curvy and she had to double up or really pull those in.
Right. Yeah. Just happens to be the exact same size. And then she gets outside and she even says, oh, here's a hair tie. Thanks, girl. Like, this whole outfit was just set here for you.
I did like that. But at the same time, part of me was thinking, why was that not on the nurse's wrist?
Right?
Because I feel like, because that's one of those things is that, did you know that like nurses leave hair ties on statues of nurses?
No.
So, like in Washington, D.C., here, we're going to learn a lot today.
Okay.
We're short 2 days, but Shannon's got info. Yeah, because I looked it up. So there is the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C., and it says, hold on. Here, I'll do this. Oh, this is a TikTok. Hold on.
This can be educational too.
Oh, they absolutely can. Let me find a good. No. All right. I'll just read the quick answer that was given it. And it's somebody's Instagram post and just says, we found ourselves at the Vietnam Women's Memorial, a statue dedicated to the women, mostly nurses, who served in the war effort. Our guide said that in recent months, women have begun leaving hair ties at the memorial. As a nurse and a fellow woman, giving your hair tie to a fellow woman feels like a hug.
Oh, that's nice.
So, but it's been a few years because we saw it when we were there. Yep. And then it just says bracelets and hair elastics. Okay. Do you call it a hair tie or a hair elastic?
A hair tie.
I call it a hair elastic. But
no, you're crazy.
But I don't use rubber bands. That is just, who does that?
Good job saying rubber band, not gum band.
Thank you. I will never, ever, ever.
And that's
for those who do not know, in Pittsburgh, rubber bands are called gum bands. Are they called rubber bands or gum bands where you are? Let us know at peer54podcast@gmail.com. What other weird words do you have? Yeah, Pittsburgh has a lot of really weird ones. Anyway, it just says bracelets and hair elastics are piling up in a nod to women who served in the war as nurses, physicians, air traffic controllers, communication specialists, and intelligence officers. But it is I was hoping for the name of the memorial. It's just the Vietnam Women's Memorial. So there you go. If you ever go to Washington, D.C., or anywhere, I guess, and you see a statue for nurses, you're supposed to leave and that's the other thing too. So is it okay for me to leave a hair tie? Now that I'm saying hair tie, on the nurse statue without being a nurse myself, or just out of respect for, here you go.
I think you definitely can.
I think so too.
But
anyway, I thought that was, I really personally liked that because I was like, I would definitely have been looking for that first as well.
Yes. No, it was very cute.
That nurse didn't have any dry shampoo though.
Right, exactly. Where's your lipstick and mascara? I want to look put together here.
I at least dry shampoo that because it was her gym bag. So it's like, okay, she would have come. Sometimes if you're only doing a light workout, you get a little dry shampoo, good to go.
Something I wouldn't know because I don't work out.
Use dry shampoo other than working out.
No, I don't use dry shampoo because I have super thick hair. And so it's either it needs washed or it doesn't. The dry shampoo doesn't do anything for it. Anyway,
find the right one.
Maybe. But then she walks through the woods and a car stops and she gets in the car and it's Cody and he's sweet and amazing as always. Like she has to end up crushing on him, which is going to be a conflict because he's Dante's best friend. But he was so sweet. And she's like, oh, do you have kids? Because he has a bunch of lollipop wrappers in the car. And he's like, no, I just really like lollipops. And then they get into a whole discussion about what the best flavors are. And she says how she misses her kids and blah, 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 blah. She just gets to know him a little bit. And then she won't tell him where she lives. So he pulls over. It was very smart. And he hands her $20 and she's like, I don't even know you. And he's like, well, here's my number if you get in any trouble, because she told him some story about she was on the side of the road because her boyfriend kicked her out of the car and that's why she doesn't have her phone or her purse or anything like that. So I just thought it was so sweet. Like there's Cody always being there for everybody. Like, here you go.
I know.
I don't know you, but I'll give you a ride. I'll offer you my coat. Here's a lollipop and $20. Okay.
But I'm sorry, he is Dante's best friend. They just spent all this time talking about.
And he met Lulu. Like, he went into.
Oh gosh, he went to the hospital to keep her company.
Yep. But at the same time, you wouldn't expect her to be awake.
But over time, I could see if he drove past her and didn't recognize her, or it was just like a quick thing. Like, they were in the truck for a good bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
He looked her square in the face when she was getting out of the car, like getting out of the truck. Something should have clicked then. You are right. Because I was just thinking, they just looked through all the photo albums for pictures of Sam and stuff. And he's talked a lot with Dante about Lulu. Like, are you telling me that he seriously has never seen a picture of Lulu? But you are absolutely right. He sat in the room with her.
He did.
He would not make a good Disney prince.
He would not. Or an eyewitness for anything because he doesn't know.
No.
But she ends up walking to her house and the door's locked. And so she remembers there's a key right under the thing. Oh, she asked him what the date was. And so in her mind, she's only been at the nursing home or whatever for like a week, 6 days or something.
Mm-hmm.
So she is confused when she walks into her house and there comes James with a thing of cookies being like, who are you and why are you in my house?
So my first question about the cookies is, do you think James was getting them for one for him? Because I thought that there was 3 on the plate. So I thought that he was getting one for Maxie, one for Sasha, and one for him as like an apology, and then got sidetracked by, because I could see him doing that. Like, oh, my mom just gave me a Band-Aid.
That could totally be. So I don't know. But he got some cookies and he walked out and was like, who are you? And she was like, who are you? And he was like, no, why are you in my house? And she was like, why are you in my house? And then he yelled for Maxie and said, stranger danger. And then they came out and the stranger was gone. And so then it turns into a whole thing of, is he lying? Is he not lying? And then Spinelli comes home. And of course, Spinelli has cameras. Like, how Maxie didn't know that, I'm not sure.
Right? And how Spinelli did not stop her from having a hide-a-key frog.
Right?
Like, why do they not have a keypad?
I don't know. I don't know.
Questions.
But I mean, I can understand not everyone has a keypad. Some people have keypads and then it breaks and they never fix it. So their house is just unlocked.
Spinelli, but Mr. Tech, Mr. Techie.
True. I would think
he
that
doesn't
he
have
would have it handled. And even if you needed to hide a key because the keypads can die, you would not put it in that obvious of a spot. Like that wasn't even like remotely hidden.
It wasn't even behind the planter. It was right out in front of it.
Right. He like should have been holding a little sign that was like the key is here.
Right.
Come
Right.
get it right here. So
I just feel like Spinelli would definitely have one that, okay, so the kids all have their own cell phones, but I feel like he would have the super in-depth one where everyone has their own code. So that way he could track like when people were coming and going and no one knows each other's code or something.
Smart. I like the fingerprint one.
Oh, or that. Do they have fingerprint ones?
They do have fingerprint ones.
Oh, no. I wouldn't want that.
So anyway, he pulls up the footage and there is indeed a woman and she gets the key and she's left with the key and Maxie's freaking out about who could this woman be and what should they do. And James gets all excited because he's like, yeah, let's go to the police station and see Uncle Mac. And when's the police car coming?
Grandpa Mac.
Yes. Sorry. Grandpa Mac. So adorable. And then Maxie's like, just sit down and look at the books on the coffee table. Let the grown-ups talk for a minute. And he pulls up the photo album and is like, hey, it was this lady right here. That's who was in the house.
Yep.
So, and they don't like, you don't actually even hear them say, oh, that's Lulu, but they have very confused looks on their face because obviously it is Lulu. And then she is sneaking off to the Quartermains. I'm assuming to see Tracy.
That's what I was thinking.
Because Luke was already gone when she went into the coma.
Yep.
So that could be the only person that she's going to look for. But
and she overheard everybody talking about Laura being the mayor.
Yes.
So she knows that, but maybe she doesn't know if she lives at the same penthouse.
Right.
So she was just going to see Tracy. I thought she was going to see Tracy.
Yeah, I just assumed. And then she runs into Gio and is like, what are you doing? And he says about how he lives there and that Lois brought him. And she's like, Lois? I thought Lois lived in Bensonhurst. And he's like, she did. So she's confused by that. And then she sneaks into the Quartermains and is looking around and turns around at the last minute because she hears Rocco say, Mom. And then she says Rocco. And that was our Wednesday cliffhanger.
That I forgot about.
That you forgot about, which is funny because it had me more interested than I've been like in a very long time. I was actually upset today that there was not another episode for us to watch.
So they changed Lucky's birthday again.
Shocking.
She said that it was her brother's birthday. Oh, hold it. Which brother? No. Okay, so I even double checked his fandom. She didn't say which brother. Hold on.
She did not.
I automatically went to Lucky.
But she could have just been using that as the excuse because Cody doesn't need to know all that about her. I just thought she was using it as an excuse.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this out there. It makes more sense for it to be Nicholas that she was referencing because his birthday is November 5th. Lucky was originally born in August of 85. Then they changed it to 83. Then they changed it to July. But to make the jump from July to November, like that's a lot. But Nicholas is a November baby. He's November 5th. But
yeah.
Okay, let's stretch it 22 days.
Okay.
So maybe she was talking about Nicholas.
Maybe. Yeah, I thought she was just coming up with an excuse as to why she needed to know the date because any normal person would know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm glad that this was not one of those, she's lurking around town, she's looking for people, she's not finding them, people are reporting this mysterious blonde woman that's...
Right.
You know, I'm glad that Maxie and Spinelli know Lulu's there. The second that she calls Lucky, he's going to be like, well, that's great because she's missing. Ooh.
Right.
Oh, Lucky tearing into Cyrus and Cyrus kind of not being wrong.
Oh, yeah. That was sad. So I was mad at the people at the facility, though. Like, they were not very concerned. They're like, so your sister's missing. She's probably just in another room. And Lucky's like, I want the footage right now. And they're like, well, security doesn't come back until tomorrow. So, and he's like, no, I want the footage now. And I'm like, I would be so angry if this was a family member of mine. Like, are you really going to tell me that they're missing and I have to wait hours where they could go or get hurt or God knows what, because security's not in right now.
Right. Crazy.
Craziness.
Well, and like, I did look up because we asked about the vitals. When someone is coming out of a coma, their vital signs, including heart rate, blood pressure, and respiration, can change as their levels of consciousness gradually improve, with potential fluctuations depending on the individual and severity of the coma. However, these changes are usually monitored closely by medical professionals.
Well, just like she ripped that thing off of her, and there was no BPP. She took she untwisted the IV, and she ripped she didn't take the IV out. She's untwisted the connector.
Yeah, but she had to have taken it out by now, right?
She had to. I mean, I hope so, because please don't walk around with that. Ouch. Ugh. But she did. All we saw was her untwist it, and then she just ripped the monitor thing like off of her, and yeah, no beep. The monitor didn't even like jump. It's not like she silenced it and it was like flashing lights or something, and you could say, well, maybe it's not connected to the nurse's station, which would defeat the whole purpose, but okay. But It didn't make any sounds or blips or anything.
Yep. And it just goes on to say that vital signs do not typically change dramatically overnight, but rather shift gradually as they respond to stimuli. She has not been responding to anything. So they jumped.
Yeah.
Oh, but I liked Lucky and Liz talking, and I like how they have she gave him a heads up about Lucas being in the clear, but then saying, yeah, but here's the deal. So when it goes from the doctor's fine, it's going to go to the nurses. And she's like, and I'm head nurse, and I was in the room. And she explains to him about how the morphine and digitalis are kept in the same locker. So it's possible somebody grabbed it. And she's like, but we all double check each other, whatever. But at the same time, we're human and we make mistakes. And he's like, oh, what did he say? He said, I'm not going to disagree with you about that one. Some of them are like greater than others and change your life forever. And she's just like looking at him like, yeah, that's not subtle.
Facts.
But at the same time, thank you for saying it.
Right.
And then he's like, okay, so I'll help you, I'll help dig into this. Like, let's take a look at it. People would have to sign off on stuff, right? He's like, back in the day when I was a detective, and she said something about, yeah, you used to be good. I forget what she said, but and he was like, oh, fine. I'll prove you wrong and I will solve this. And it turns out that she was the last person to initial off on whatever it is that.
And they said that Sam didn't not receive the other drug. So it wasn't a mix up. She did get what she was supposed to get, and then the digitalis on top of it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Because if she had enough of what she was supposed to have, only so much fits in a bottle.
Right.
Like in a vial. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I did like how she explained what it was, though, and wasn't acting like they did last week. We're all supposed to know what that means.
Yes. I can't wait for the reason why, though. Like, why whoever they're going to say killed her.
I don't know.
Like, there has to be a really good backstory of why we suddenly killed her off to make it that way. Because if they didn't want a backstory, they could have just killed her in a car accident or something and moved on. But the fact that they are making it so that someone murdered her, there has to be a really good story.
You talked about Cyrus. And so now I don't think Cyrus changed. But I do think that
everybody hear that? Did everyone hear that?
But the reason being is I think that they changed it. I really do think he had, and I think that they are now writing it where he's reverting back.
Or you just had rose-colored glasses on.
No, I'm just not. Listen, they've been rewriting a lot lately, so
that's true too.
That's what I think happened. So I am no longer on recovered Cyrus. Cyrus has changed his life.
Yep.
Which I'm honestly really upset about, because I thought that it was going to be really good.
I'm sorry.
It had a chance to be really good. Redemption is always a great story, though.
It is. I just didn't believe it with him. He is too good of a slime ball. I don't know how else to say it. Like, if we ever meet him, that is exactly what I'm going to say to him. I just got to tell you that I hate you because you just play a slime ball too well. I can't get over it.
Mm-hmm.
So, he apparently went to work instead of hanging around for them to put pillows underneath of Lulu. And so while Elizabeth and Lucky are talking, Lucky gets the phone call from Turning Woods that's like, hey, I know this is supposed to be a great facility, but we accidentally lost your sister and we're not sure where she is. And so I liked Lucky and Liz went together, and that they kind of asked like the very common questions, because again, the guy's kind of like blowing them off, and Lucky is like, okay, Cyrus shouldn't be visiting. And what do you mean you don't know where my sister is? And Liz is like, okay, there's like protocols for us nurses. Weren't your nurses following them? Like, why don't you know what's going on?
And yes, Cyrus is her uncle, but since when have uncles been considered? Okay, I almost said, like, okay, they are family, but it's usually that term is immediate family.
Right.
Not an uncle.
Right.
Like, unless he was guardian.
Exactly. And like Liz even said, he visited a few times in the hospital, and Laura was like, no. So how is it that you guys are having it happen here? And the guy's just like, I don't know. He said he was family. He is family, right? And it's like, what were you going to do if he wasn't family? Like, you just took his word for it? Right. And he's making plans to transfer her, and you're just like, you're the uncle. That's fine.
Well, and he says, just draw up the papers. I'll have Laura sign them. I have a feeling they're not even going to get a notary.
Right, exactly. He could just stand right in front of them and sign Laura's name and be like, it's fine. She said it was okay.
Right. Oh, dear. He doesn't have like POA or anything like that.
Right. It was ridiculous that they're just like, he's fine. But anyway, so then Lucky goes to the restaurant and confronts him and is like, where is my sister? And yeah, that's when Cyrus gave it back to him. And you couldn't say Cyrus was wrong as much as I wanted to.
Nope, really couldn't.
Made me sad. Lucky's just kind of standing there because he says, what do you know about family? Once you've spent more than a month with your son, then we can talk about this. And I was like, oh,
like, you're not wrong. You're such a jerk, but you're not wrong.
And Liz kind of even got a face like, oh man, I hate that guy, but he has a point.
Yep.
So yeah, that was sad.
I guess we could go on to more jerks that have a point, Rick. He's not wrong. I mean, that's...
If he would have continued to say that it was an accident, like his closing statement of it was an accident, I'm sure that lots of people could go over actions that day and be like, I wish I didn't do this. I wish I didn't do that, blah, 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 blah. It was these actions that no one could have foreseen were going to end up with this cause. I would have been 100% on board, because I'm not saying it's Ava's fault. Even if Ava would have pushed her, which she didn't, but even if she would have pushed her, she still wouldn't have meant to push her out a window or like cause her that kind of harm. So I 100% do agree that it's an accident, but he keeps screaming at Kristina that it's her fault, and that's not fair.
Right. 100%. Like, that is exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, dude, you had Ava off the hook. And that's the thing, is I think that if he had not said it's Kristina's fault, I feel like Ava's probably going to be found guilty. And I think that it's going to be because they feel like they have to decide, was it Kristina or was it Ava? Instead of, was it Ava or was it just truly an accident? And he put that in their head of, I mean, and that's not what the direction is going to be. That's not what all that's, there were so many times where, Dante was on the stand and the judge ordered whatever he said. She's like, you know better. I didn't even hear what he said. Did you hear what he said? Because they were all talking over each other.
I didn't hear exactly what he said, but it was something of like him thinking that Ava was just like a liar and crap. And so she was like, you know better. Like, don't be speculating on that kind of stuff.
Yep. Well, I thought that he asked him an opinion, though.
He asked him if he thought that Ava was a good mother. And that's whenever the defense or the prosecutor was like, you can't ask him that. He has not lived with her. He has not lived with her daughter. Like, that's speculation of what in his mind is good or not good. But then there was something else that Rick said that then Dante commented on, that was when the judge said, you know better than that. But I did not hear exactly what he said.
I did not see him bringing Natalia on the stand to talk about the
Right?
accident. And Natalia, I mean, to be fair, they really can't prove, unless Natalia was
No.
recording that conversation and all that, they can't prove that she lied.
And so I know that 911 records could be subpoenaed by Rick, but how did Rick even know to subpoena that? Because Kristina didn't talk to Molly about that accident, right?
I don't think so. And I don't think Molly would offer up that information to Rick.
So
It's irrelevant.
So I
Because
want to
Molly
know.
has been on more of the, I need to lay off Kristina. So she wouldn't have offered that up, I don't think.
Right. And even if he had heard from a third party then that Kristina was involved in an accident, I wouldn't have played that recording because you don't know whose fault it was. Like, Natalia was the one that called the accident in, but that doesn't mean that she wasn't the one at fault.
Is it illegal to not go through insurance? Oh, in most situations, it is illegal to not use your insurance when you are legally required to have it, especially if you are at fault in an accident involving another party. Instances where you might be required to have it would be if you have a loan on the car. Your lender would require you to have that.
But I didn't feel like they hit.
No, I think they just scared each other.
Yeah, it was an almost accident. And if they would have hit, it would have been Kristina's fault because she was the one that went over the line. But it wasn't. Their cars
But again, prove that.
Right.
Well, no, it would have been Natalia if she went over the line. Okay, but here's where you get all tricky because it's okay, Natalia went over the line. However, Kristina should have been responsive enough to not hit the car that came into their line. That's why if someone pulls out in front of you and you hit them, it's still your fault.
Right.
So if Natalia swerved over and Kristina hit her, it's still Kristina's fault.
But that's what Natalia said happened. What actually happened was Kristina was Yeah. So, yeah, I just don't know I don't know what Rick thought he was proving with that because no matter what, like just because you have a car accident doesn't mean that you have no regard for anyone at all. Like if she had 10 car accidents, okay, maybe then you could be like, hey, she's had a string of car accidents leading up to this, blah, 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 blah. Like she's a bad driver. She has no regard for anyone. But an almost car accident from someone who just lost their sister and their baby, like, yeah, I don't think that's absurd. Sometimes, not saying that it's right. Obviously, you should not drive under distress or whatever. But I'm sure everyone has had a moment where their mind has wandered somewhere else driving.
But she also wasn't.
It could happen.
She was listening to the song, and the song is what made it overwhelming. Right. So she was not driving in distress. She was driving and listening to a great playlist, and then it occurred to her where this playlist came from.
Right.
So I don't know. And Rick tried to be all sympathetic when the first time Kristina was on the stand, he asked her why she was lying after she said that she was okay. And he's like, you're clearly not. How about you take a break? And, you know, I want to be able to recall. And Alexis told Sonny he's doing it as a tactic, you know?
Mm-hmm. I know. How about Alexis getting tossed out of the courtroom, though? Because she stood up and was like,
almost. She wasn't quite. She was told she would be. And the bailiff stood up. And that's when Sonny said, so we're going to go.
Oh, I thought that the judge told her that she had to leave. It was if she didn't leave that he was going to arrest her.
Did I watch the show this week?
I don't know if you did. I'm almost positive that he said she had to leave and she kept arguing. And he was like, no, seriously, I'm going to arrest you. Like you need, like the bailiff stood up like, I'm going to arrest you now. And that's when Sonny was like, okay, please don't arrest her. I'm going to get her out of the courtroom because that's what you said first was get her out of the courtroom. So we're going to take that choice.
I thought she said, if you don't stop, like I'm going to, because she was like, I'll hold you in contempt. I must have just not been listening.
I mean, I could be wrong.
There's a really good chance that I am.
I thought that's what I heard. I could make up what I want to hear too. Who knows? So yeah, Sonny went outside with her, and then Alexis was like, thank you for coming out here with me, but your daughter needs you. You need to go back inside. And so he went inside, and I wish that Kristina would have had time to talk or would have like talked anyway, even if Rick didn't want her to, because he brought up the fact that she was started claiming the baby as her own, and that like caught her all off guard and she got upset and whatever. I wish she could have calmly been like, no, what happened was my sister and her partner were arguing all the time and acting like maybe their marriage wasn't going to work. So my intention was to protect the interest of my family in this child.
Your daughter.
Right.
I was trying to let your daughter have legal access.
Right. Because if I signed off on my rights and Molly had not signed on to rights yet, TJ would be the only person with rights to this baby, and he could go do whatever he wanted to. So I was saying that until I understood what was going on with Molly and TJ, that I was not giving up my rights because I did not want the Davis family to have no rights to our baby, essentially, and only TJ. And instead, she just got upset and like, yelled about, of course, she had feelings towards the baby. It was her baby, blah, 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 which is all valid points, but it made her seem unstable, where I wish that her attorney would have been like, isn't it true that you had feelings, but you weren't going to act on those feelings unless there was no other way to keep the baby in the Davis family?
Well, but here's the problem. She doesn't have an attorney. That's the prosecutor.
Right.
So, but that's the other thing. We didn't see the prosecutor prep with her. Don't you think that, especially now where Alexis is back to being able to be an attorney, that she and
Kristina
like they would have sat prepping with the prosecutor to prep, especially given the emotional stuff? And why didn't you have a doctor testifying to the hormonal changes that happen? Like you said, she lost the baby, she lost her sister, but also like in general, you have like hormone shifts.
Right.
But it was just, I'm curious to see where things go with Molly and TJ, because it seems like Molly is ignoring the fact that Kristina kept saying, my baby. Because that was the first thing TJ said. And she just responded and said, I think it was just an accident.
Yeah.
So I feel like
he said that she just claimed our baby in front of the whole courtroom. And Molly was kind of like, yeah, but that wasn't the point of this. The point of this was trying to figure out if it was an accident or if it was Ava's fault.
I was a little upset with Rick not questioning Molly the way that we thought he was going to.
Right? Yeah, he was tricky. Like the way he worded his stuff, she was kind of no way around it.
You could see that she hesitated, though, on some of the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Trina was the only person sitting on Ava's side.
Yes.
But she took the stand, and it's really interesting how he wants to use the police reports when it's convenient for him.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to take the word of a hysterical woman who just came out of massive surgery, massive bodily trauma, emotional trauma of losing a baby she's carrying. I'm going to go out on a limb and say she was heavily medicated.
Right.
Her statement to the police right away
over
a calm, cool, collected person who came to the police to say, I saw Ava. Shut the window or shut the curtains.
Right.
But he made it sound like she shouldn't have been believed.
Exactly.
Is there anything else with that?
I don't think so. We're just waiting on the verdict now.
Ooh, Ava took the stand.
Oh, yeah.
She kept calling him out on, so you going to defend me at any time here?
Mm-hmm. I mean, her statement was good. Like I said, I understand Kristina wanting to blame her. I think it was shady that Ava moved the duffel bag and replaced it with the shoes and that kind of stuff. But I mean, we did see it happen. Her intent was not to push Kristina out that window.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, Ava for once is not lying.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, her testimony was good. It was heartfelt. I mean, I think it got the job done. I don't think that she's going to be convicted.
I don't either.
So,
but then the question is, what happens next? Because we've already heard Kristina supposedly, well, she did. Because he brought up the Port Charles Grill, where she came and threatened him and Ava in a public setting and have 3 witnesses.
Right.
I was really surprised that he was allowed to badger her for so long.
I know.
What else?
This year, the British Podcast Awards are heading to a brand new home, Indigo at the O2. Join more podcasters, creators and producers than ever before at the biggest night in British podcasting, taking place on Thursday, the 2nd of October, 2025. You can book your tickets via our website, britishpodcastawards.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Drew asked to meet with Michael so that they could clear the air, and Curtis is repeatedly calling Drew, and Drew is ignoring his calls.
Because he's a snake.
And Michael did the same thing that he did with Willow, and that's it, in response to the one kiss.
Right.
And that's it. And then Drew tells him, I only want to have you, Curtis is great, but, your family, and I'm going to take care of family. And, you have more experience with running the company and everything. Yeah, you do. And Drew's not wrong. He never told Curtis he was definitely going to be CEO. He just definitely heavily implied it.
Right.
And then Michael's recording the whole thing. Oh, and Drew's like, well, eventually we're going to have to talk about Willow. If it was only a kiss and you both regret it and that's all that happened, and once again, we're blaming the stupid fireworks. But if that was it, what do you have to talk about?
Right.
There's nothing to discuss. It felt like Drew was wanting to talk about, so which one of us is going to get her?
Right. I was going to say she's Michael's wife. She has said repeatedly that she wants to work out things with Michael. So what is there to have a conversation about, especially whenever you claim it was one kiss that happened under circumstances that aren't going to happen again?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it started with Drew asking Michael, did you tell Jason? And he said, he's like, yeah, I had no idea he was going to react that way. I usually talk to my wife about these things, but, kind of couldn't in this instance.
That was so good. I really liked that line.
And he even said, he's like, yeah, Jason's always been protective of me. So it's kind of like one of those things that, seriously, maybe you should really think about who you're doing stuff behind their back to.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Drew was just so gross because he just continually was like, oh, I just want to fix this bond between us and I'm all about family and blah, blah, blah. And said multiple times, like, it was just a kiss. Like, it didn't mean anything, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you're such a freaking liar. How can you stand there and lie to my face like that? And then turn around and tell me how it's so important to fix our relationship. Like, no.
Yeah. And then he leaves because he has to do some work and make some phone calls down in DC. And Michael calls Curtis and he's like, I heard you're trying to get a hold of Drew. And Curtis, in the meantime, had been talking with Jordan at the boxing gym about how Drew is being shady right now.
Right.
And Jordan's kind of like, are you sure? And Curtis is definitely going towards the side of, yeah, he is. And then when Michael talks to Curtis, Curtis says, I didn't feel good about where we left things. I wanted to hear from him.
Right.
And Michael's like, well, funny you should mention it, and plays him the recording of Drew saying, I had no intention of giving Curtis the CEO role. We'll give him a nice raise. We'll send him back to the health and wellness.
Yep. I hope Curtis goes beat him up. He can have matching black eyes. No, but he deserves it. He's such a jerk.
I just feel like everything is going to come tumbling down for Drew, and I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sasha's pregnant.
What? I had no idea that was going to happen.
So mad. I knew it was going to happen, but I'm going to be mad about it. I am seriously so mad. I am very disappointed.
I also don't understand. If you got pregnant by someone unintentionally, not your partner, not the person that you like are in a relationship with, would you run even to your best friend? And Maxie's not her best friend. They are friends because of deception, and now they are family, and they're like going to have a good relationship, which is great, but they are not best friends as it stands today. Would you run to that person and be like, oh my God, I think I'm pregnant? Or would you pee on the stick at home and then, if it was pregnant, go over to their house and be like, oh my God, I'm so upset. I just took a pregnancy test. It's positive.
I think with the complexities of the fact that she just lost Willow as a friend because of her telling Michael about the second kiss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then Drew doesn't know that Michael knows about the second kiss.
No. It wasn't because she told Michael about the second kiss. It was because she was the one that told Cody.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yep. Okay. So she just lost Willow. She is now pregnant with Willow's husband's baby, her ex, and just lost Cody. I'm kind of surprised she did not go to Nina, but then I feel like if she had gone to Nina, Nina would have turned it into, because Sasha is scared of what would happen if the same thing happens that happened with baby Liam.
Right.
And she might have had the forethought of, well, Nina's going to turn this into how she understands the loss of a child.
Yes.
Maybe I need to go to Maxie, who is compassionate and understanding, but also going to keep her grounded.
I understand I understand her going to whoever, and Maxie makes the most sense once she found out. I don't understand going, if you're upset about it. If you were excited about it, then I feel like, yeah, you go to your best friend, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I just needed you here because I'm going to take this test because I hope it's positive, blah, blah, blah. But if you are not wanting it, no, I would not tell anybody. Like, no.
See, I've been with people as they took the scared pregnancy test, though.
And they like bought it and brought it to you and like waited, not like we're at Target and I mentioned to you, oh crap, I think I'm pregnant. And you're like, go buy a test and take it right now.
Uh-huh. The former coworker stopped on the way to work to get one and asked me to go to the bathroom with them.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't.
Because she was so scared. And she was. And beautiful baby.
No.
But yeah. So I guess that's kind of where.
I don't know. My mind.
I've been Maxie.
Anytime that I have thought maybe that I could be, that I was not planning it, I was like, I don't want to jinx myself and tell anybody. Oh, we're gonna take it. It's gonna hopefully say no.
I've taken so many. I think most women have, though. But it's Sasha's first scare. Like she said, this is the first time I've slept with anyone after Brando.
Right.
I don't know. I think the girl's just got a lot going on, and we need to lay off her.
I mean, I hope that this. I kind of wish that she wouldn't tell Michael. I know that that's not how the storyline's going to go, and that Michael obviously is going to realize that she's pregnant and then be like, hey, is that my baby? And blah, blah, blah. But I kind of wish that she wouldn't tell Michael and that she would just be like, hey, like I had a one night stand with somebody else and it's theirs, and just do it on her own, because she wanted her baby. Not this replaces that baby, but it could be a fresh start for her to move on and move forward. And if she didn't have to have the complication of all the Michael crap on top of it, it could be very nice.
She's not going to do that, though, because that just happened to her with Robert.
I know, but...
And her not having a dad. And she knows that, like, you can't hide a baby from parents. When it would be a good parent. If, like how Olivia withheld Dante, she was afraid for his life. There's nothing to worry about with Michael.
Yeah, I just don't want all that complication, though, because it's going to be so messy.
Yeah, but they were together first.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just hope that they let her have it. If they make her miscarriage or they make her have some type of health crisis at the end that she loses the baby, I am going to be so angry. Like, that really might seal the deal that I'm done.
The only thing that I will accept for her not actually being pregnant is, but that doesn't explain the hormone.
Right.
I was thinking like all the stress and everything, but that's only if she had skipped. Never mind.
Yep.
Sorry. I had jumped to that and I'm like, well, like that happens where you're so stressed out and things don't happen.
Right. That totally.
But no, you don't magically produce the hormone.
No, but then it would have been negative.
Right.
So.
And then I think the last thing is just Brook Lynn and Chase.
Yes. Working on making their own, baby.
Yep. Oh, but what was that look when Chase said something about going through this for the first time together and she had the stare off camera?
Yeah, because Lois had that same look. So there's a story somewhere. Because whenever Olivia was like, oh, you're going to be a Nona, blah, 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 blah. And she said something about grandchildren. And then Olivia was like, oh, you're going to keep them busy. How many are they having? Blah, blah, blah. And then she said, I'm just so glad that Brook Lynn did it the right way. And then Lois got this look and she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to insult you and say you didn't do it the right way, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of felt like, yeah, she did do, like, Olivia can say, I'm glad that she did it the right way, because Olivia didn't do it the air quotes right way by having Dante so young. And technically then also didn't have Leo the air quotes right way because of who his bio dad is. But Lois was married.
And her age at the time. She was also older.
Yeah, right. But Lois was married to Ned
Like
whenever
her
she got
son's younger than her grandson.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I don't know.
I didn't. I mean, I guess that makes sense that that's the conclusion that Olivia drew, was that Lois's face was like, "Oh, I insulted you," but it was like she shouldn't be insulted because nobody gets pregnant in a marriage assuming that they're then going to be divorced at some point in time.
Right.
Like, you did do it the right way. You, again, air quotes, right way.
Right.
You got married and then had a baby. So, but yeah, so there's some story there with Brook Lynn, but who knows?
Not liking it.
I don't like it either. And it makes me want to go back to what is Cody and Dante hiding, but it can't be anything to do with Brook Lynn and being pregnant. So, like, how many secrets do we have?
Do Brook Lynn and Dante have a kid?
They can't.
I think that's going to be what it is.
But then how
that would also rewrite when Carly paid Brook Lynn to try to seduce Dante.
See, and I'm thinking that the story between Dante and Chase or Dante and oh my god,
Cody.
Thank you. His name just totally slipped. Dante and Cody is like before that.
Oh, I think they're two totally separate things.
So, but it's like, how many secrets are we hiding? Come on.
She can't have had a baby with Dante because do you know how guilty Lois would have been?
Right.
And after all she just did with the whole Sunny thing.
Did she have an abortion back when Lulu did? I don't remember that. I was going to say, I don't remember that, but could that be what it is? Like the look of shame over an abortion?
And hoping that she's able to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Because she has been concerned about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope not, because we did this with Lulu.
Right. That was how we had Lulu having to have frozen embryos and all that stuff, was because she couldn't carry a baby to term because of her teenage abortion. So we don't need to have...
No, because remember, they found out when she miscarried that even if she had not had it, she would not have been able to carry the baby to term.
Oh, that is right. You're right. Okay.
But I mean, she thought that when it initially happened, but then the testing and everything found out that no, she would not have been able to carry that baby anyway.
Right. Okay.
I hope not.
I hope not either. I just don't see the point in going there.
And I hope they don't do, like you said, they'll just get Sasha's baby. Like, no. Babies are not shoes. You can't just give them to somebody else because they don't fit right.
I don't know. I just want Brook Lynn to get pregnant naturally. It doesn't need to happen this month because that's also an unrealistic expectation they like to put out there. So it could take a couple months for that to happen, but I just want it to happen. A nice, normal, we tried, we succeeded. Here we go. And let Sasha continue her pregnancy.
Yep. Kind of ended on a down note.
Yeah. Reality check.
How was your reality check? Or what's your reality check, I guess?
When did we record last? On the way home from Ohio.
Sunday.
Okay. So what happened this week? It's been like a boring week. Wednesday night, we went to Dave & Buster's with my family, which has become a pre-Thanksgiving tradition because we don't all spend Thanksgiving together any longer.
I like that.
So that was fun.
I like the tradition, not that you don't spend Thanksgiving.
No. It just... My sister is not into all the fuss of Thanksgiving because she used to get guilted into inviting her in-laws over, and she does not like hosting all those people because she hosts Christmas Eve at her house. And so she didn't want to continue doing both, which is understandable. And no one would drive all the way out to my house because, I live so far away from them. A whole 25 minutes.
I was going to say, I'm like, 20, 25 minutes.
So it just went
not even through a tunnel.
Right? It's
not even a tunnel.
Direction. Like if I lived out by the airport or something, I can understand the
and it's against the typical traffic.
Exactly.
So there wouldn't be traffic.
I know.
All right, whatever.
My sister still has not been to my house since I bought it 3 years ago. So whatever. Anyway, So my mom wants to still be productive in her older age, but she is not as young as she once was. So she gets assigned the task of doing the sides. And my niece was there to help like peel the potatoes and do like some of the harder work. And my mom made the pies, and then I made the turkey and the green bean casserole and stuffing. Oh, and my mom makes sweet potatoes because I don't like sweet potatoes, so I refuse to mess with them. So it's a combined effort for the holiday, but the two younger girls stayed with their dad, spent it with their dad. He does a fried turkey, so that's like better than my turkey. And then Emily came with me, and then Matt and his girlfriend stopped over later in the evening after they had done Thanksgiving with her family. So it was nice. It was whatever. And then this weekend is Madeline's birthday. So by the time everyone's hearing this, she will officially be 12, and I will still be crying because she is so old and I don't know how that happened. But yeah, we have fun birthday stuff planned for her. So
Yeah, I don't know how she's 12 already.
I don't like it. It makes me very sad, for real.
I don't like it.
Well, my son was saying that yesterday. So his girlfriend has an older sister. His girlfriend is like 24, but the older sister is turning 39. And so they sat down, and she was shopping because her sister's birthday is coming up. And so my son was like, Mom, what do people your age like? And I was like, excuse me? And he was like, well, she is like close to your age because she's turning 39. And I was like, I don't know really what old people like. And like 39 still doesn't feel like my age because I'm over 40 and there's a distinct difference. But I'm not sure, blah, blah, blah. And he said, yeah, there's a big gap between her. It's going to be like from me and Madeline. And I don't know why, but it's like never occurred to me that there's only 3 years difference between the age difference between Matt and Madeline and me and Matt. And I was like blown away by that idea. So
that's how it is with my baby sister and my son.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But I realized that when I was having him, because I was like, it's your age when you were born. And
oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I had never mathed the math to be like, wow, 3 years difference. That's crazy. So, and I remember people like made the joke whenever I had Madeline, like, oh, was Madeline Matt's? And I was like, that's not funny. Like, I don't want to be a grandma. That's not funny. But now that they're all older, it kind of just, hadn't done the math there. So it's crazy to think of that age difference, but whatever. It all works out.
Maybe it's also because I had a rule that I would never date a guy closer to my mom's age than mine. And it was possible. Because she was 19.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry. She got married at 19, had me when she was 20. And no, she could not have been pregnant on her wedding night. But 20 years behind Trina's. And like, sometimes women date up. And there was only one time where a guy was close by like a month.
Oh, wow.
Like closer to my mom's age than mine. I was like, exception made. But
oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So how was your reality check?
Well, we went and picked up my daughter from her program on Wednesday, and she isn't 100% sure if she's going to go do like one of their programs or what she's going to do when she's done after school. But sorry, I thought Cookie was getting sick, but I think she might have just been. Are you getting sick?
Like that you expect her to answer you.
She does sometimes. Like she'll sometimes actually come closer. Are you coming over here? You good? Okay. Yeah. All right, here. Come here. Come up. Anyway, so Cookie will be joining us in a minute. Here's my reality check. Oh, so she's not 100% sure what she just got back. She's not sure if she really liked it or not, liked it enough to actually go do it, but she did welding. She liked that one the best, did not care so much for the culinary arts. But she also didn't do any welding. They just told her what they do. And she's like, so we just kind of hung out. So I don't feel like she really got an experience because she came home last weekend, like Friday through Sunday, because nothing was going on at the school. And I think that was because this is a holiday week. So they probably just didn't schedule anything thinking people were going to be spending money, going home and all that stuff, whatever. So, and then when she did the culinary arts, like they didn't walk her through what the program does. They had her just sorting grapes from good and bad.
Oh.
Which, you know how I feel about giving stereotypical work.
Yeah.
When that's not the level of skill that is being met.
Right.
And it's not like they gave her a checklist. Well, first we're going to sort the grapes. Then we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. Nope. It was just sorting grapes. So we might be looking at more permanent part-time employment options with her job coach. So we'll be looking more into that. And my son came home on Tuesday and was able to surprise her coming up, pick her up. And then he is
nice.
just like me and has scheduled himself to work. He scheduled Wednesday night, tonight, tomorrow.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he's my kid. And, did I tell you that he is pledging a frat this year?
No, that's exciting.
Senior year of college, my son has decided to join a frat. I think it's because he's friends with like so many of the guys in it. And they're just kind of like, why don't you just join? He's like, all right. So he's having his initiation on Sunday.
That's so cool.
Yep. So, but yeah, I mean, we just went over to my brother-in-law's for Thanksgiving. It was actually the first time. So JD's sister's husband's mom recently passed away, and they used to spend Thanksgiving with her. And so this year, JD's brother invited them. They've always been invited, but that's just always been what they do. Mm-hmm. And so this year, they accepted the invitation to come to his house for Thanksgiving. It is the first time in 25 years that the three of them have been with their parents for a holiday.
Oh, that's so nice.
So because there's an 11-year age gap between JD and his brother, and then there's 5 between him and his sister. So, his brother kind of up and moved out early and so on and so forth. So, yeah. So it was nice. And my sister-in-law's parents come also, and they come to my in-laws for Christmas Eve also. So I know her parents pretty well too. And we had a good time. So, and all the kids were there. And that was, of course, I thought about it in the morning and started crying because 3 of them are graduating in May though. Like my son and the 2 oldest nephews, they're all graduating in May. So
yeah, who knows for next year?
Yeah. And then we start to think about it because at first I was like, man, I really miss cooking and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but I really enjoy going over there. So we decided when Erica comes back from Massachusetts and when my son's home from school, we're just going to make between Thanksgiving and whatever dinner. So that way I get my turkey so I can make my turkey. But yeah, I was like, this could very well be one of the last Thanksgivings that we have all 6 grandkids.
Yeah.
Or who knows? So I got a little misty over that one.
Not shocking.
Surprise. I know. But yeah. And then we decorated for Christmas today. We put up our tree. JD and the kids put up the lights outside and I'm looking at them and I thought that I got twinkling lights and they're not twinkling.
Oh.
I'll have to ask JD, who just got home. So he got the keys back from before we started recording, my husband locked his keys in his truck, but we have AAA and they got there and they must have actually gotten there in 20 minutes.
I was going to say that was really fast because I thought for sure we were going to get done and you were going to have to go pick them up still.
Yep. No. Awesome. But yeah, so join us on Thursday as we talk more about Lucky and Liz.
Have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye. If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.
This year, the British Podcast Awards are heading to a brand new home, Indigo at the O2. Join more podcasters, creators, and producers than ever before at the biggest night in British podcasting, taking place on Thursday, the 2nd of October, 2025. You can book your tickets via our website, britishpodcastawards.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number, 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number, save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.